When you see fire alarms in buildings, usually you also see pull stations like these two, but there's actually not just these two that save lives. It is a smoke detector. So I'm gonna explain what smoke detector does because the user is probably confused of what this is and commented about it. So let's waste no time and get right into it. Um, so first I'll give you the model. It is a FSP-951R-IV. This is a addressable notifier smoke detector. So I'll go ahead and explain. So usually it would be mounted on the ceiling and um, just pretend that this face is ceiling. Usually when you see smoke, it'll sometimes like fly everywhere. And if we take a look, there's some sort of, if you can see it, but it's some sort of like sensor thing or whatever it's called. That'll uh, detect if there's a smoke when it comes inside of it or something. And then right here you got the LED. It sometimes blinks depending on, I don't know how the blink sometimes works, but so I'm not an expert about that, but I do know that when it detects smoke, it'll go solid red, and then your alarm will go off. And usually, if it's a remote strobe, it'll flash, but you know what? It doesn't matter. So, um, your fire alarms will be going off if a smoke detector goes off. But usually, you can see these in homes. Right here is a first alert smoke detector, and focus. Usually it's in homes and there's a test button right there. Where you can test smoke, you can test it button. It also senses, it'll, okay, I will. That button's to test the smoke alarm. What, I don't know. But there's actually a alarm right there. This one is a smoke alarm. This is a smoke detector. So I'll have to do a review, a comparison between a smoke detector and a smoke alarm. So that's gonna be a next video. But yeah, I'm gonna zoom out. So, but yeah, that'll do the same thing. So um, so if you see this is actually for a magnet test. So when you want to test your smoke alarm or smoke detector, and you don't want to test the smoke sensor, well, it'll show you where to put smoke at or your magnet at, and you just put it right here, and then it'll go off eventually, and then it'll set your alarms off. Um, so yeah. If you set your smoke alarm off, your smoke detector is smoke, and you saw it smoke, sometimes it'll go solid red before you pull your fire alarm. I don't have my keys with me, but sometimes it'll not just be the pull station, but sometimes this will just go off first before your pull station if this activates first. But if there's smoke alarm before you before the smoke alarm goes, there's a chance you could just pull it before it goes off. So now there's some things about bad about this smoke detector, because if you left this cover thing on, then that could put people's lives into risks. And it'll just basically be a useless smoke detector. Smoke detector. But normally it'll come packaged in the box, and also leave some instruction manuals. But it's just not a good idea to leave this on. So once you're done doing it or something like that, or instantly, just take your cover off like that, so your smoke detector will not be useless. And either you can keep it in case you need it, or so yeah. Also, I don't know what remote test cable means, but might mean something. This protector smoke detector will also require your base. So there's a base around where you're supposed to twist like that. I'll show your base. So right here is basically your base and mounting bracket, and like that. That's how you can install it. Here's the model, by the way. So this is basically your base, and let me show you this. So these three, if the gray ones, silver ones, will have the screw terminals, and the wires will be on these silver things. Then it will be mounted like that. So yeah, it would be cool if it fitted. But yeah, let's see. It does require a base in order to work this smoke alarm, unless you can get your wires working. Yeah. Obviously I can test it, but I have parents home, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and test it to talk about another thing. So, if you have a conventional smoke detector, then for your home, I would get conventional, by the way, and instead of addressable, just because addressable smoke detectors won't work, but conventionals will if you have a base. So you can just connect it to your fire alarm, and then just test it with smoke, and then your fire alarm will go off, beep, like that, and it'll probably just keep going off until smoke is gone. Or you can just twist it, and the alarm will stop. If you magnet test it like that, alarm will go off. If you twist it, it'll stop. If you twist back on, it should stop. So, I think that's about it for this one. So let me put this in the middle. Yeah, there you go. That's what smoke detector is about. I hope you learned something today. About this smoke alarm. Of course, I'm not a great educationer, but at least I hope you at least learn some things of what it does. I'm pretty sure you probably already could or do know about it, but I just wanted to give, or someone commented about it, so I'll give them a shout out in the description. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps, and bye.